In this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to access the academic standards for the state of Tennessee. Over here on the left-hand side, the standards are divided up by subject area, so I will start with the ELA standards. They are all in one very large PDF document. You can see 87 pages here. As I scroll through, I am looking for the standards to come up in a chart, and here we go. Here's the first standard. You can see this standard is introduced in kindergarten and it's built upon in first grade. This standard deals with print concepts, and so it's a foundational literacy standard, and so they have an abbreviation before the number, so K for kindergarten, FL for foundational literacy, PC for print concepts, and this is the first standard there. And then you can see that it's built upon in first grade, so it begins with the number 1 for first grade. You can see some standards are further broken down. The kindergarten standard is broken down into 5 additional areas. The first grade standard is just broken down into 1 area. And then as we scroll through, we see additional standards. This standard is still foundational literacy. However, this one is phonological awareness. So you see the different abbreviations there. And then as we go through, you can see this standard is introduced in kindergarten. Down here it's introduced. And then you can see each year how it's built upon until that standard is finally mastered, hopefully, in the 5th grade. And then just as we continue to scroll through the document, we'll eventually see where standards are introduced in kindergarten, perhaps, and they go all the way through 12th grade. So let me give you an example of one like that. I am going to go up to my toolbar and select Edit, hover over Find, and now click Find. And I want to see all of the standards that have to do with theme. All right, so here's the first standard that has to do with theme, and it is a reading standard. You can see way down here it's introduced in kindergarten, and it's built upon all the way through that child's 12th grade year. You can also see how theme is assessed in literature as well as in informational text. All right, now let's go back and take a look at the mathematics standards, and these have changed a lot over the years. So if you've previously looked at mathematics standards, they are going to look much different now. So we're going to select the PDF for the grade level that we would like to see. So unlike the ELA standards, we will just see one grade level, and we'll select first grade. There's usually some introductory material first, but then here, starting on the second page, we have the first standard that's listed for the first grade. And you can see again here there's an abbreviation. OA is for Operations and Algebraic Thinking. And so this is the first standard in that OA band. Here is the standard, add and subtract within 20, and it continues on. And then students could be anywhere from a level 1 with this standard all the way up through a level 7. And so that's just taking the standard and ranking that student in their current understanding of the standard. And as we go on, we can see here's the next standard, also Operations and Algebraic Thinking, but this is standard 2, adding 3 numbers with a sum, continues on, and then again you see the rankings there. We could continue on and look at different areas of those standards, but let me show you a different grade level. Let's look at, say, 4th grade. And when they get to 4th grade, there are fewer rankings, so instead of having up to 7 rankings, we just go up through level 4. But again, you see the abbreviations there in the standard, and then that's spelled out for you above what that standard is. Again, here's the standard. Here are the rankings that a student could be at. All right, now let's go on to our science standards. And I believe they've combined these into one document. Here's the academic standards for science. Again, there's usually some introductory material, but I'm just going to scroll down until I find where the actual standards begin. And here we go. These are the kindergarten science standards. So here's a standard, here's another standard, and here's another standard. All three of these relate to matter and interactions. And we can continue on and look at first grade and second grade all the way up as far as 12th grade. Now let's go on to social studies. These are broken down into grade bands for K through 8, and then they're also broken up into class areas for high school students. So let's take a look at the 6th grade standards. And here we go. There's just a brief introductory paragraph for each area of the history standards. And then they begin with the number 6 because this is 6th grade and the first standard. And then we would continue on with all of those many, many standards. And this is about how all of the social studies standards look. Very long document with the number of the grade listed first, and then the number indicating the number of the standard is second. All right, briefly, I will also touch on our health, PE, and wellness standards. Those are broken up into K-5 standards, 6-8 standards, and then high school standards. And those are PDFs. Let's take a look at English as a second language. That's another one I want to show you. Because they're not listed specifically here, Tennessee adopted the WIDA standards in 2013, and so you would go to this website and open those up. Click on standards, and then choose the set of standards that you are working with. Right. Finally, like early childhood students, if you are a pre-K through 3rd grade major, we have our standards for pre-kindergarten here. Here or here, depending on which set you are using.